You're watching the Hog Brothers Garage YouTube channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel and a new video. In this video, we're going to tackle probably the exhaust. We're going to attempt to get those both done in this video. Get the tank cleaned out. Go from there. But yeah, we're going to get a look up underneath of it. I'll show you what it looks like underneath a 91-year-old car that's been parked for 54 years. We're going to get right into it. Got our hat up. It's cold out today. We're going to get under here and give you a look, see at what it looks like under. Like I say, grab a hold of my high-tech lighting and we'll get you a look-see of what we got here. I haven't never recorded under a car, so let's just see what we got. Like I say, this thing is surprisingly clean. Bear with me, I never recorded under a car before. Whoa, Nelly. I've never recorded under a car before. First time for everything. That's the bottom of the gas tank, and here's the rear tail panel, exhaust hanger, leaf springs. It looks pretty daggone good under here, I think. I figured y'all want to take a peek. Tank's pretty solid looking. Luckily, it does have a drain plug. They drain the gas out of this thing. I don't know which way I want to go about this. I have to get used to filming under a car. Wish I had a lift, but I don't. Hopefully in the near future. Yeah, I get you. Let's see under here. You can see that. Well, there's a lot of grease points on this car. So there's a lot of grease built up around them grease points. The lube chart on this thing is outrageous. Here'd be what I guess would be an exhaust hanger. Here's a shock. Place here where you can fill it. So you're gonna need a good cleaning. I guess, 227,000 miles. But it's nice and solid under this thing. This is wood. They use a lot of wood in these cars. But that wood is in excellent shape. It's not rotted or anything. There's the other shock. But this thing's nice underneath. There's the rear end. You can see there, no universal joint at this rear end. It's got a torque tube like a Corvette. You can see over here, this right here is more wood. A little rust flaking off, but that's more wood over in there. The worst part on these things is the bottom of the running boards. Look down the sides. Another piece of wood there. All these cross members, the frame rails, they look great on it. They're in excellent condition. Again, for being a Ohio car, it's all its life. This thing is in really good shape. It did spend time in a garage in Florida, but driven-wise, it was driven in Ohio for the miles it was on it. Here's your return spring for the clutch. That thing's long. Again, no universal joint. It's like I say, it's a torque tube. There's all that metal's in good shape. You get along the frame rails, all that stuff looks really, really nice. Really surprisingly nice. You see a fuel line. Here you can see this runs it back to this, which runs to the right rear brake. Here's the transmission. Yeah, transmission, clutch, and bell housing. The bell housing is almost as big as the tranny. This is a 3-speed tranny. Here you can see for the brakes. This rod here is for the brakes. And that spring there, I realize this spring here is a return for those brakes. And it looks pretty good shape. It's not stretched or nothing. That'd be probably your clutch return spring there. Pretty small transmission. But you can see here that you got the fuel line run down through there. Here's where your battery would go. Can't really see the clutch itself. Get that out of the way. Now you can see there's the front seat. Yeah, this spring here is for the. I've never worked on a car this old. 62 is the oldest car I worked on. This is a return for the parking brake. The clutch. Then here, clutch linkage up in there. There's your clutch return spring. This is some weird wiring. This is the original wiring that was on for the car, and it's just crumbly. It's like cloth covered, and that stuff's just breaking apart. They say that the wire seems good, but the the coating's just gone. We're just going to do away with all that. I don't know exactly what this wiring, but I'm going to do away with all that wiring. I will leave that's the negative battery cable. It looks in pretty good shape. Another interesting thing on this car I thought was really interesting. I never seen on a car before. Because I didn't like say I ain't working on this old. But there were flathead screws for the oil pan. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this there is the oil pump. And you can see that fuel pump we just did on there. They say this car has no exhaust on it. It was straight open. Yeah, well, like I say, it's got the rod here for the front brake. And it goes into a cable that works the front, which this cable looks to be in pretty good shape. Like I say, the wiring, I'm not a big fan of this here wiring. It's just hanging wherever. It just break apart. We're just going to go through that. I got a lot of grease to get off here because I want to paint the bottom side of this car. You can see the I-beam front suspension. But this car, like I say, you see how bottom of that oil pan, that thing's pretty dry. But it's got a whole bunch of flathead screws to hold that in there. It's got pretty good ridges there too. Help that seal. But I think for 227,000 miles on this thing, I think she looks pretty daggone good. But I do want to paint this frame up. But here's, yeah, you can get up in there, you can see there's the shock. But I think we can get all that cleaned up. Looks like somebody's put some gray paint at one point or another on the front. I'm gonna do all that in black. But this cable here goes to the front. It's not a line, it's a cable that goes in there and pulls it. It'll have hydraulic brakes. Here's a, way different than newer cars. But there's a tie rod end. It's kind of small looking, but must be strong enough to do 227,000 miles. But yeah, like I say, this stuff here don't look that bad. We'll get to get a look and see the bushings. I don't know how easy it'll be to find bushings, but yeah, like I say, it's a pretty clean old car. Like there, that's just undercoating or something coming off. And this is all super solid. They made stuff with real metal back then. Maybe I can climb around here and get a look, see the front. But there is a lot of built up grease. Like I say, this car's parked in 1970. I don't know what kind of car washes they had back then, where they had this high pressure washer or whatever. It's before my time, but there's a lot of built up grease. But there is, the lube chart for this thing is crazy. I'll maybe have to put a picture of it on here. But yeah, I'm gonna pop around the front. Maybe you can see up under the top. But yeah, there's radiator core support and whatnot. You see, I think for as old as this car is, I think it's in really great shape, especially for the record amount of miles. Suspension over in here. You can get a good look at that. There's a vacuum plate for the brake. The little tie rod ends. That's the steering linkage. Then there's another look at that. Another look at one of them shocks. I'll get up in there better. The name of that shock is slipping my mind at the moment. But yeah, like I say, I think she's in pretty daggone good shape. Some reason, this side here is gray. It's like somebody's painted it gray at one point in time. There's a place for lube on everything on this thing. That might be a pretty decent view of that shock. In there. So you take that screw out of there. That screw there. At the top, I think that's where you add the oil. The shocks take oil. They need to service frequently. Hey y'all, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you watching. If you want to help old fella out and enjoyed the video, click like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.